Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show that puts obscure knowledge to the test. Let's meet today's players. Now, welcome back, Viv and Jim. You were on the show last time. Everyone gets 2 chances to reach the Pointless final, and this is your second and final chance. Remind us what happened.
We got through to the head-to-head.
You did very well.
Yes, and we took it right through to the last question, and unfortunately we got beaten.
Oh, it was a geography question. It was a geography question.
No,
it was Bridget Jones.
Oh, no, it wasn't a geography question. It was a Bridget Jones question.
Correct.
Yeah, that was a very tough one. Now, what would you like to see come up today? What will see you through to the final?
Well, television. We like
TV.
Yes,
yeah.
TV.
Motoring, car
Yes,
type
cars,
Questions.
Animals.
Dogs.
Very good.
Dogs.
Animals, dogs. Hang on, basically, you like watching telly, you own a car, and you have some dogs.
We used to.
You used to have some dogs, OK. Well, great to have you on the show again. Very, very best of luck. Let's see if we can see you all the way through to the final this time. That would be fantastic. And next, we welcome back Nicole and Andre. You were also on the show last time. Remind us what happened with you.
Well, we were out in the first round, unfortunately, but that was more to do with the fact that we had a topic that wasn't even around in Barbados ever, which is obviously where Dre's from.
Never heard of gladiators?
No.
Never heard, but that was a
good
game
guess,
shot, though, Andre. Bear was the one you made up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than chicken or
Yeah.
koala or sloth or something like that. Much better.
Sloth. Yeah. Surely there was one of those, wasn't there?
It's a great gladiator.
Yes. Andre, what would you like to see to make up for that? What would be great for you this afternoon?
Maybe some politics.
Some politics. You good on British politics?
Not so much British politics, New World politics, American, Caribbean. Maybe a bit of British politics, but more international, I'd say.
OK, Caribbean politics, Richard?
Yeah, let me take a little look. There's not a lot. There's a couple of rounds that touch upon the governmental structures of St Vincent and Grenadines, but apart from that, we're pretty light.
Oh, OK.
Nicole, what about you?
Anything kind of around music or any type of performing art, TV, that kind of thing.
Good stuff. Well, very, very warm welcome back to the pair of you. Great to have you back on the show. And next, we welcome Fraser and Sarah. Now, how do you two know each other?
Well, we met 5 years ago when I was on a cricket tour to South Wales, and we've been married now, living in Scotland for 4 years.
Wow, he came down with a cricket bat and took you back to Scotland. What about that, Sarah? So you live up in Glasgow now. Sarah, what do you do up there?
Housewife.
Housewife. How many children have you got?
3.
3. So, yes, you've got your hands full there. What are your interests, Fraser?
Well, I like sport.
Cricket, I'm guessing, particularly.
Cricket, football, basically any sport I've ever played.
Very good. Who do you follow as a football team?
Though there is only one team in Glasgow, Partick Thistle.
Very good. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
And finally, we welcome back Chrissy and Susie, who were also on the show last time. Remind us what happened with you.
We got through to the second round, but then we were somewhat stumped by science.
Scales of measurement, that's what it was. However, this afternoon, what would you like to see come up?
Well, I'd like to see geography come up. That's definitely my favourite topic, but I'm always scared to say that just in case I disgrace myself if geography does come up.
How about you, Susie?
Well, I like children's literature, or I like food and drink, so something like that would be good for me.
OK. Now, we discovered last time that you're both from Taunton. But, Chrissy, you don't sound like you're from Somerset. Where are you from?
I'm originally from the Isle of Skye. So that's my home.
Are you a MacLeod?
MacDonald.
I beg your pardon. Isn't everybody on... I thought everybody on Skye was called
I grew up on MacLeod Estates, actually,
right.
So you're nearly right. But the blood, you know,
is MacDonald. I beg its pardon. Well, great to have you back on the show. Very, very best of luck this afternoon. We will find out more about all of you throughout the show as we go along. There's only one person left for me to introduce. If he were a superhero, he would be Mr. Obscuro, mesmerising criminals with his strange and unusual facts. He is my pointless friend. He's Richard.
Hiya. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
So you okay?
Yeah, I think so. Just about, yeah.
Glad to hear it. One of those very rare occasions where we've got 3 returning pairs today, so, you know, there should be some indication of how well they're going to do. Viv and Jim got through to the head-to-head, were very good. Chrissy and Susie were good. And Nicole and Andre were very, very unlucky. So I think 3 strong pairs. I think Fraser and Sarah are going to be very much the underdogs. It will be very, very tough, I think, to win today's show against 3 pairs who have already been on.
Thank you very much, Richard. Well, we put all our questions to 100 people before the show, but this is pointless. So we are after the obscure answers they didn't get. To stay in the game with a chance to win our jackpot, all our players need to do is score as few points as they possibly can. Now, what everyone's trying to do, of course, is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And each time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Nobody won the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £3,000. Right, let's play Pointless. Now, in the first round, each of you must give me one answer and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated, so try and make sure that's not you. OK, our first category this afternoon is myth and legend. Myth and legend. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many mythical creatures as they could. Mythical creatures, Richard.
Yeah, the correct answers on the board will all be mythical creatures or races of creatures. Those, of course, are creatures that are known chiefly through myth rather than through verifiable historical fact.
OK, now then, Viv and Jim, you all drew lots before the show, and this afternoon you get to go first. As Richard said, in this round we're going to give you a choice of 7 possible answers on the board in each pass. The first set of 7 answers reads like this. Pegasus, Gorgon, Cockatrice, Sphinx, Minotaur, Rule, Unicorn. I'll read those all one more time. Pegasus, Gorgon, Cockatrice, Sphinx, Minotaur, Rule, Unicorn. Now, I can tell you that at least one of those answers is pointless, and at least one of those answers is incorrect. Pick the incorrect ones, and you will score the maximum of 100 points. So, Viv.
Looking at the list, I think I'll play on the safe side and go for Gorgon.
Gorgon, you're saying. As always, the most obscure answers will score you the lowest points. OK, let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Gorgon. That's a brilliant answer. Gorgon scores you 7. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Viv. Medusa, the most famous of the Gorgons, would turn men to stone if they looked at them, and Perseus slew her.
Yeah, with his shield, the reflection.
Yeah, he used a mirror to reflect her face back at her.
Clever.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Just a myth, though. It didn't happen.
Now then, talking of really clever, Nicole, we are looking for mythical creatures.
OK, it might be to my detriment, but I'm going to go with the Minotaur.
Well, Minotaur, let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Minotaur. It is right. 23. Not bad at all, Nicole.
Yeah, well done, Nicole. Minotaur, half man, half bull. Would also have been a very good answer for Andre to give on the last show about gladiators.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And wrong.
Wrong, yeah, but good.
But brilliant. Now then, Sarah. Remember, we are looking for mythical creatures.
I'm going to play it safe and hope Fraser does better than me, so I'm going to go for Pegasus.
Pegasus, you're saying? There's Pegasus right at the top of the board. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Pegasus. Yep, that's right. That's a great answer, Sarah. Only 9 for Pegasus, Richard.
I know, amazing. Yeah, Pegasus, it was the son of Medusa. He was born out of Medusa's decapitated head and then went on to serve Perseus throughout his career. Again, not true, but that's what they say. Wow. But yeah, only 9 people. It's interesting, that, isn't it?
A horse just born out of a head, a severed head.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it does happen, but this particular instance, it's not true.
Now then, Chrissy. Remember, we are looking for mythical creatures.
I'm torn between 2 that I know and 2 that I don't know, so I'm going to go for Sphinx.
You're going to go for Sphinx?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if Sphinx is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Sphinx. That was a very good answer indeed. Brilliant low score there, Chrissy. 1 for Sphinx.
Yeah, I think a low score. I think people perhaps know the statue of the Sphinx, but perhaps don't realise it is based on a mythical creature. But it is. Let's take a look at the rest of the answers. Unicorn, obviously, is a correct answer, but would have scored you 53, so that was well avoided. And of those other 2, Alexander, if I offered you a choice between a rule and a cockatrice...
Cockatrice every time. That's your pointless one.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's a pointless answer. Very well done if you said that at home. And Ruel it's one of the R's in J.R.R. Tolkien, so it's an incorrect answer.
OK, well, thank you very much, Richard. So let's take a look at the scores as we're halfway through the round. Chrissy and Susie looking very strong indeed on just 1, then up to Viv and Jim on 7, then up to Sarah and Fraser on 9, all single figures. Very well done. Nicole and Andre, 23. That's quite far ahead of the crowd. It's still a lovely low score, but it does mean, Andre, you're going to have to find a really obscure answer on the next pass. Maybe even a pointless, who knows. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, remember we are looking for mythical creatures, and we're going to put 7 more answers on the board, and they are Siren, Laberfish, Centaur, Satyr, Dragon, Lamia, Rafus. I'll read those all one more time. Siren, Laberfish, Centaur, Satyr, Dragon, Lamia and Rafus. And again, I can tell you at least one of those answers is pointless and at least one of those answers is incorrect. So try and avoid those incorrect ones. So, Susie, Chrissy did phenomenally well on that last pass.
She did very well.
You're on 1. The high scorers on 23 are Nicole and Andre. If you can score 21 or less, you are definitely through to the next round.
Well, I think I'm going to try for Siren.
OK, Siren, you are saying. Here is your red line. Below that red line, you're through to the next round. Let's see if Siren's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. This is right. Oh, well done. Very well done. Fantastic. That scores you 2. It takes your total up to 3. That's still a lower score than anyone got on the first pass. Very well done. Richard?
Yeah, very well played, Susie. Siren. They're sea nymphs who, again, try to lure sailors to their deaths with their singing.
Fraser. The high scorers remain Andre and Nicole on 23. You're on 9, which means if you can score 13 or less, you're through to the next round. Remember, we are looking for mythical creatures. What are you thinking?
I think I'm struggling because I know 2 of them, and 1 is far too obvious to pick. And rather than risk a pointless answer, I'm going to say Centaur.
OK, right. Well, there's your red line. Let's see if Centaur is right, and if it can get you below that red line. Centaur, how many people said that? Is it right? Yep, you've done it. You've done it. It's exactly what you needed. 13. Takes your total up to 22. Richard?
Yeah, very low scores all round, aren't there? Centaur, half man, half horse, of course. You find them in centaur parks.
Now then, Andre and Nicole, you are the high scorers, which means, Andre, we need preferably a pointless answer from you. So remember, we're looking for mythical creatures.
Well, there were 2 answers I was going to pick, and they've been picked already. So again, this will be a bit of a gamble. I think I'll go with Satyr.
Satyr. No red line for you, obviously, Andre, because you're the high scorers. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Satyr. Good luck. It's right. Might it be pointless? Oh, so nearly. So nearly, Andre. That scores you 1, takes your total up to 24. Will it be low enough to to keep you in the game. I hope so. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Andre Satyr, known for their lascivious appetites and mischievous behaviour. I think if I was a mythical beast, I would be a satyr.
Without doubt.
I think largely because
Without doubt you would.
every day you're stood there and I'm sat here. I really need a hi-hat for some of these.
Yeah. Very good. Now, Jim, the high scorers on 24 are Nicole and Andre. You're on 7. If you can score 16 or less, you are through to the next round. You're also the last person to have the board, so talk us through the board as you see it.
Well, yeah, I would have said that Siren and Centaur were 2 I would have chosen. Satyr would have been 1 I could have gone for. I'm afraid I'm not certain of the others, so the 1 I would pick would be Lemire.
Lemire or Lamia. Is it a mythical beast? Please, can it be pointless? We haven't had one for so long. There is your red line. Below that red line, you are through to the next round. Very, very best of luck, Jim and Viv. Let's see if Lamia is a correct answer. It is right. Oh, very well done, Jim. Let's see if this goes where I think it might. Yes! Very well done. That's pointless. It adds £250 to today's jackpot. Takes the total up to £3,250, and it scores you nothing, leaving your total at 7. Very well done indeed, Richard.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. Well done. And you dodged some mines there as well. Dragon, that is obviously a fairly big scoring answer, would have scored you 57. And of those other 2, Alexander, what do you think? Pointless, incorrect?
Well, Rafus sounds more classical and therefore more likely, and Laberfish sounds awful.
Does a bit. Well, you're quite right. They're both incorrect, actually. Laberfish is the maiden name of Jackie Stallone. So that was an incorrect answer. And Rafus cucullatus is the Latin name of the dodo, so a real animal, so not a mythical beast. So Jim, very well played for picking your way through that.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Richard. So at the end of round 1, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm sorry to say, Andre and Nicole, this is just ridiculous. I have to say goodbye to you so soon. A great shame, a great shame. I was certain you were going to go a lot further this time, but I'm afraid this is where we have to say goodbye. Andre, Nicole, thank you very much for playing. Great contestants. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. Now, obviously, there's only room for 2 pairs in the head-to-head, so one of the teams in front of me now will be leaving us at the end of this round. Try and make sure it's not you. OK, our category for round 2 is actors. It's actors. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, our round 2 question concerns actors and their common roles. Actors and their common roles, Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 pairs of actors on each pass. We asked 100 people to tell us the character or historical figure that they both played on film. The more obscure answer is going to score you fewer points, but if you give us an incorrect answer, you're going to score 100 points. So there's going to be 12 pairs of actors and all 12 answers for you to get at home.
Thanks very much, Richard. So we are looking for the parts that both of these actors have played on film, and we have got Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness, Steve McQueen and Pierce Brosnan, Anthony Perkins and Vince Vaughn, Glenn Campbell and Matt Damon, Jodie Foster and Julianne Moore. I'll read those all one more time. Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness, Steve McQueen and Pierce Brosnan, Anthony Perkins and Vince Vaughn, Glenn Campbell and Matt Damon, Jodie Foster and Julianne Moore. There they all are. Jim. We are looking for the characters that both of these pairs of actors have played.
Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness is about the only one I recognise as a double act. And they're out of Star Wars.
They've both played the same character.
Then I would go with Luke Skywalker.
OK. Luke Skywalker. Viv, what are you thinking?
No.
Good luck, Jim. Luke Skywalker. Bad luck, Jim. Unfortunately, that's an incorrect answer, which means you scored a maximum of 100 points, Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Jim, I won't give the correct answer just in case Sarah or Chrissy want to have a go at that. Mark Hamill, of course, was Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movies.
Now then, Sarah. Remember, we are looking for the characters that both of these actors have played on film.
Okay, there's one up there I know. Jodie Foster and Julianne Moore, which is Clarence Starling from Silence of the Lambs.
Jodie Foster and Julianne Moore, Clarice Starling. OK. Let's see if that's right, Clarice Starling, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Yes. 30. Cracking score there, Sarah. Clarice Starling.
Yeah, very well played. Jodie Foster, obviously, in Silence of the Lambs, and then Julianne Moore took over when they filmed Hannibal.
OK, so then Chrissy. Again, it's your job to mop up here.
Yes, I wish I could wow you with my knowledge and tell you all the answers, but I don't know them all. I think the top one's Batman, and I only know one other, which I think I'm going to go for, the Steve McQueen, Pierce Brosnan. I think they both played Thomas Crown in the Thomas Crown Affair.
Very good. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Thomas Crown. Very, very well done, Chrissy. Another brilliant score. 6 you get for Thomas Crown.
Yeah, well played, Chrissy. Steve McQueen in 1968 and Pierce Brosnan in 1999. Actually, the second best answer on the board, so a good one to know. Let's take a look at the rest of them. You're quite right, Michael Keaton and Christian Bale is Batman. Would have scored you 80. Now, Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness, Jim, it is Star Wars, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. They both played, would have scored you 40 points. Anthony Perkins and Vince Vaughn. Well, Anthony Perkins famously played Norman Bates and Vince Vaughn starred in a remake of that. That would have scored you 12 points. And Glenn Campbell and Matt Damon. It's a pointless answer. And the film is True Grit, that was re-released recently, and the character is LaBeouf. LaBeouf, both played by those actors. Very well done if you got that at home, and very well done if you got all 6.
Thank you very much. OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at those scores as they stand. Lovely low single-figure score from Chrissy there. So Chrissy and Susie looking very strong. Then up to 30 for Sarah and Fraser. And then up to 100 for Jim and Viv. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players take their places at the podium? OK, remember, we are looking for the characters that these pairs of actors have played. And here they are. Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp, Alec Baldwin and Ben Affleck, Frank Sinatra and George Clooney, Anthony Hopkins and Frank Langella, Peter Sellers and Steve Martin. I'll read those one more time. Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp, Alec Baldwin and Ben Affleck, Frank Sinatra and George Clooney, Anthony Hopkins and Frank Langella, Peter Sellers and Steve Martin. Obviously, you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. Now then, Susie. You are the low scorers,
yes,
thanks to Chrissy's excellent answer in the last pass. The high scorers are Viv and Jim on 100. If you can score 93 or less, you are through to the next round. Remember, we are looking for the characters that both of these pairs of actors have played.
Well, I think I know 2 on there, but I don't know which would be the lowest. I think I'm going to say Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka.
OK, you're saying Willy Wonka for Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp. Here's your red line, nice and high. If you get below that red line, you're definitely in the head-to-head. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Well done, you are through to the head-to-head. 32. Takes your total up to 38. Richard.
Yeah, very well done, Susie. Both brilliant performances as well. Gene Wilder in 1971 and then Johnny Depp in 2005 in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Very good. Fraser and Sarah, you're on 30. The high scorers are Viv and Jim on 100. If you can score 69 or less, you are through to the head-to-head. What are you thinking?
I think I'm struggling because, frankly, I don't know any of them. There are 2 that I can guess at, and they are stabs in the dark. So Peter Sellers and Steve Martin, Inspector Clouseau.
If Inspector Clouseau gets you below that red line, you are through to the head-to-head. Let's see if Inspector Clouseau is right for those 2 actors, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. It is right. And you are through to the head-to-head. Very well done. 46 takes your total up to 76. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Fraser. You really needed a right answer there, and you got one as well. Peter Sellers played him 5 times, and Steve Martin has played him twice.
OK, now Viv and Jim. I'm afraid the writing is on the wall for you. Well, it's certainly on your podium, anyway. And it's in red, which tells me that you are the high scorers even before you've given your answer. But for fun, Vivian, let's see if you can find a really nice, obscure pair of actors playing a common character there.
Obscure, no. There's only one set on there that I recognise. It's Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, and that was Dumbledore, I believe.
Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, Dumbledore. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. No red line for you, I'm afraid. He's right. Surprisingly low answer. 19 takes your total up to 119. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Viv. Richard Harris for the first 2, then Michael Gambon from there on in. A nice way to finish. Let's take a look through the whole board. I suspect some people at home would have got all of these. Do you want to have a go at some of those? Frank Sinatra and George Clooney?
Danny Ocean.
Danny Ocean, exactly right.
Not Billy Ocean. Sorry,
yeah,
that would have been quite wrong.
Would have scored you 16. Frank Sinatra played him in Ocean's 11 and George Clooney in 11, 12 and 13. Now, Alec Baldwin and Ben Affleck. You could also add Harrison Ford to that list. They've all played Jack Ryan in Tom Clancy adaptations. Alec Baldwin in The Hunt for Red October, Ben Affleck in The Sum of All Fears. And Anthony Hopkins and Frank Langella, they both were nominated for an Oscar for portraying the same person. And it's a pointless answer.
I know exactly what it was. Frost Nixon. It was Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon is the right answer. Very well done if you got that at home. Very well done if you got all 6.
Thanks, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, Viv and Jim, it's you. Dear, oh dear, head-to-head last time.
Yes.
Round 2 this time. Oh dear, it's been such fun having you on the show, Viv and Jim. I'm so sorry I have to say goodbye to you now, but you have been brilliant contestants. Thanks so much for playing. Viv and Jim, brilliant. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Very well done, Chrissy and Susie, Fraser and Sarah. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £3,250. Now, for each question, each pair needs to give me just one answer, but you are now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair, and you will win that question. The first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for today's jackpot. Let's play Pointless. OK, here is your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Beatles UK Top 40 singles with 3-word titles as they could. Richard.
Yeah, looking for any Beatles UK single that reached the UK Top 40 whose name consists of 3 words. In case of double-sided singles, we'll accept either side, and we won't accept medleys or EPs such as Twist and Shout. But any other Beatles single with 3 words that enter the UK Top 40, please.
OK, Chrissy and Susie, because you've played best throughout the show so far, you get to go first. We are looking for Beatles UK Top 40 singles with 3-word titles.
The only one I could think of is Love Me Do. OK, we're ready?
OK, we have an answer.
We hope Love Me Do.
Love Me Do.
Yeah.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Love Me Do, say Chrissy and Susie. Fraser and Sarah, if you need to talk any further, you can talk out loud if you like.
No, I think...
We think Ain't She Fine.
Ain't She Fine. Ain't She Fine and Love Me Do. Chrissy and Susie have said Love Me Do. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. It's right. 31 for Love Me Do. Fraser and Sarah have gone for Ain't She Fine. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, which means after one question, Chrissy and Susie are ahead 1-0. Richard.
That's a very unlucky wrong answer. There's I Feel Fine, which would have scored you 4 points, and there's Ain't She Sweet, which would have been a pointless answer. Let's take a look at all of them. Baby It's You, which was a hit in the mid-90s, would have been pointless. There's Ain't She Sweet, which was they recorded in Hamburg in the very early 60s. Made number 29 in the charts, was a pointless answer. I Feel Fine, 4 points. Strawberry Fields Forever, 8 points. Ticket to Ride, 10. Please Please Me, 12. Let It Be, 16. All of these would have won you the points, all of them. She Loves You, 18, and Love Me Do right at the top on 31. Really, really bad luck, but very well done at home if you got some of those pointless answers.
Thanks very much. So, Fraser and Sarah, you have to win this second question to stay in the game. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Rugby World Cup winning nations as they could. Rugby World Cup winning nations, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any team that's won Rugby Union's World Cup, also known as the Webb Ellis Trophy, from the first one in 1987 right up to and including the 2007 tournament.
OK, now then, Fraser and Sarah, you go first this time. OK, we have an answer.
South Africa.
South Africa, you're going to go with South Africa. Chrissy and Susie.
We're going to go with France.
France. OK, so we have South Africa, we have France. Fraser and Sarah, this is the one you have to win. Is South Africa right? And if it is, how many people said it? Chrissy and Susie have gone with France. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said that. Bad luck. Afraid your turn to have an incorrect answer this time round. But that means after 2 questions, it's 1-1. Richard.
Yeah, France lost 2 finals, but they've never actually won it. And South Africa's actually the best answer there as well. Let's take a look through the whole board. South Africa won it in 1995 and 2007 with 35. New Zealand won the first one in 1987, 37 points. Australia won it in 91-99, they got 41. And England, who beat Australia with Johnny Wilkinson's drop kick, would have scored you 65. 2003, they won that.
OK, thank you very much, Richard. Here is your third question. Whoever wins this question will be going through to the final and playing for that jackpot. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Cher films as they could. Cher films, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any feature film made for cinema release for which Cher has received an acting credit or a voice credit up to May 2011. As always, won't accept short films or documentaries or anything where she's played herself, like in Good Times or Stuck on You. But any Cher film up to May 2011, please.
OK, thank you very much. Chrissy and Susie, you go first this time. OK, we have an answer.
It's probably quite well known, but we're going to say Moonstruck.
Moonstruck. OK, Chrissy and Susie say Moonstruck. Fraser and Sarah.
We know a particular film that she was in about a boy who had a disfigured face. We don't remember the name of the film, so we'll say The Elephant Boy.
The Elephant Boy. OK. The Elephant Boy, you are saying. So we have Moonstruck, we have The Elephant Boy. Chrissy and Susie. Moonstruck, you say? Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Moonstruck. Wow, 12. 12 for Moonstruck. Fraser and Sarah, you have gone for The Elephant Boy. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, it might be right.
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said The Elephant Boy. Bad luck, as I think you knew. That is an incorrect answer, which means after 3 questions, Chrissy and Susie are through to the final 2-1. Richard.
It's amazing that rather sort of beautiful, sentimental film wasn't called The Elephant Boy. What were they, what were they thinking? I'll tell you what it was called. It was called Mask. but would have scored you 24 points. So actually wouldn't have seen you through. Let's take a look at all the films here. There's a few pointless ones. Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean from 1982. That was a pointless answer. Suspect, in which she plays a lawyer. Faithful, they both would have scored you 1. Chastity, where she plays a young hitchhiker, would have scored you 2. Tea with Mussolini, the Zeffirelli film, would have scored you 3. She's nominated for an Oscar in Silkwood. That would have scored you 7. She won the Best Actress Oscar for Moonstruck and scored you 12, as we heard. The Witches of Eastwick with Michelle Pfeiffer and Susan Sarandon, 17. Burlesque from 2010 would have scored you 18. She played an unconventional single mother in Mermaids, where the Sheep Sheep song, she released that from there, 23 points. And Mask, a.k.a. The Elephant Boy, 24.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of the head-to-head, the losing pair, I'm afraid, is Fraser and Sarah. Great shame. We will see you again next time, though, when I'm sure we'll see more of you. But thanks very much, meanwhile. Great contestants. Fraser and Sarah. But for Chrissy and Susie, it's now time for our pointless final and the chance to win our jackpot of £3,250. Well, congratulations, Chrissy and Susie. You fought off all the competition and you have won our coveted pointless trophy. OK, well, you now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £3,250. There you are. Now, the rules are very simple. To win that money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people could think of. We've had one pointless answer on the show today. You only have to find one more now, and you will go home with that money. First, though, you've got to choose a category, and you can choose from these 3 options. They are Canada, celebrities, and classical music.
All the C's. Susie, what do you think?
Well, I think Canada, because
you think Canada?
Geography and... Shall we go Canada?
Shall we go...
Yes, let's go Canada. Canada.
OK, you're going to go for Canada. OK, well, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many capital cities of Canadian provinces and territories as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're just looking for any of the capital cities of any of the provinces and territories that make up Canada. Very best of luck.
Right.
OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and all you need to win that £3,250 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
Right, this is not brilliant. No, I don't.
Know the Yukon,
No.
Territory?
I only know that Calgary would be British Columbia.
OK.
I would guess that Halifax is...
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, or somewhere over that area.
Yes,
we only have to name the capitals, I presume.
That's right.
So Halifax, Calgary...
What about Prince Edward Island?
I don't know the capital of Prince Edward Island.
Ontario.
Ontario, would that be...
Toronto or not?
I should imagine Quebec's the capital somewhere along the line.
OK.
Is that the name of the... No. What's the capital?
I don't know.
Quebec. I'll go for Quebec. I don't know the capitals, per se.
So I don't know the capitals of Canada either. Of the provinces and things. OK,
So Calgary, Quebec...
5 seconds left.
And what was the other one we said? Halifax?
Yes, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
OK, there is your minute up. So we were looking for capital cities of Canadian provinces and territories. What are your 3 answers?
We're going to go for Halifax.
Halifax?
Yeah. Calgary.
Calgary.
And Quebec.
And Quebec. Of those 3, which do you think is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Maybe Halifax.
We'll put Halifax last. What's your least likely?
Quebec.
We'll put Quebec first.
Yeah.
OK, let's put them up on the board in that order, and here they are. Quebec, Calgary, and Halifax. Right. We were looking for Canadian capitals of provinces and territories. You said this was your least likely pointless answer. Quebec. Now remember, you only have to find one pointless answer to win that £3,250. Let's see if Quebec's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Quebec. Well, he's right. If this goes all the way down to 0, then you'll be leaving here with £3,250. Ooh, 35. So unfortunately, that's not a pointless answer, but you knew that. You knew that wasn't going to be pointless. You put that first, which means you only have 2 more chances. to win today's jackpot. How would you spend £3,250? What would you do, Susie?
Well, I think I might put my backpack on and run away to Peru and find my son. I like travelling.
And finally, I mean, he's travelling there.
He is.
Phew.
That's if I can find him.
He's not... he's not a missing person. Or
No.
OK. Very good. Chrissy, what would you like to do with your jackpot spoils?
My daughter's off to Nepal to do some charity work, and I'd love to give her some money towards a project to buy some equipment for the school she's going out to. And then I'd probably just go with Susie and go to Peru with my backpack too, with the rest. I think that's probably what I'd do.
OK, well, let's hope you can do all of those things. This is your second most confident answer, Calgary. Remember, you only have to find one pointless answer to win that jackpot. £3,250. Let's see if Calgary's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Calgary. Good luck. Bad luck. Calgary, an incorrect answer, I'm afraid. So therefore, obviously not pointless. Which means you only have one more chance to win today's jackpot, £3,250. Everything is now riding on Halifax. This, you said, was your most confident answer. Let's see if it's right and if it's pointless. It's your last chance to win that jackpot of £3,250. Halifax, is it right? How many people said it? It is right. That's the first thing it has to be. Second thing it has to be is pointless. If this goes all the way down to zero, you leave here with £3,250. It's still going down, single figures. Oh! 5. I'm afraid, unfortunately, that means you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer. So I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot of £3,250, which will roll over onto the next show. But you have been brilliant contestants, and you do, of course, get to take home the pointless trophy, so...
Yeah, very unlucky. Calgary is in Alberta, and the capital of Alberta is Edmonton. Would have scored you 5 points, though, Edmonton. There's a few pointless answers up here. Let's take a look. Some people at home would have got these. Whitehorse, which is the capital of the Yukon. It was formed during the Klondike Gold Rush. That was a pointless answer. Iqaluit, that's the most obscure one up there. That's the capital of Nunavut, which only came into being in 1999. Yellowknife, that's the capital of the Northwestern Territories. That was a pointless answer. And Victoria, which is the capital of British Columbia. It's on Vancouver Island. So very well done if you got any of those at home.
Thanks very much. Richard, did you know any of those?
Victoria, yeah. I didn't know the other three.
Well, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Chrissy and Susie, but it's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody's won our jackpot today, so it rolls over, which means on the next show we will be playing for £4,250. Join us next time, see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.